What's one thing doing the interviews has taught you? So starting with JayBee.
Oh God. This is gonna sound cringy, right? But it's almost kind of taught me something about my own ego a bit and feeling a bit of pride in what you've created and not what you get credit for. So I guess to cite that properly, it happened in the Bob Bergen interview. I kind of feel like I could have come up with better questions for him at the time. I was just kind of trying to make it short and sweet to the point where I didn't know how people were going to take the lack of Scooby stuff or not. But it was kind of like before then, whenever I would like write all these questions and say them to people, whenever like say Millie would ask something and the guest would go, "Oh, that's a really, really good question," and then like, "Oh crap, people watching this are gonna go like, oh, Millie is so good at these interviews and stuff," and whereas in that one, I kind of feel like every question I asked was just awful, and then but obviously because like having like written them, Sophie then asked something and you just saw Bob's face light up and he was like, "Huh, that's a really good question. I've never been asked that before." And in my mind I was like, "Oh my gosh, he was impressed with the question that I wrote." And so it started off, I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna get the credit for that," to, "Oh my gosh, I've written a good one." And so that's kind of what it's taught me, just to kind of pump the brakes on the ego and just be proud of what you create and not what you get the immediate credit for. So that's my thing.
I'd say mine was just confidence, like sitting on Facecam for an hour, speaking, picking up the phone and speaking to the people beforehand. It's just been a big confidence trip. Rhianna, what about you?
I think one thing that it's taught me is how to not panic when I mess up, because I feel like I do that so often. And slowly I'm getting to a stage where it's like, no, I can mess up, but I can take a breath and push through. And also it's taught me the power of friendship, because even after a really bad interview with someone who doesn't give us a lot of, you know, leeway and feedback, afterwards we're like, you know what, that sucked, but we got through it. It's all good. And friendship.
Okay, so the next, and Smash. I'm so sorry, Smash. I fully left you out of that question. I'm so sorry.
You almost did a screen rant.
Sorry. No, because I remembered you, and it's Smash that I forgot. I'm sorry. So what would you say was the one thing for you, like, that you learned from interviews?
I think one of the biggest things is because, like, I think we started these interviews right as everything started hitting for me. And so, like, for me, a lot of these interviews have kind of been filler, we'll say, in my life right now. Like, you know, everything's going on. Take like an hour or two for this. Everything's going on. You know, they've kind of been like filler episodes for me in a way of my life right now. But then, you know, as you guys get them out there and stuff, it's, I think, two things it's kind of made me realize is because for this last year, I felt like I've lost kind of my name and my face out there because I have taken a step back from being online and dealt with my life right now and stuff. But so in a way, it's taught me that, like, the impact that you already made, people are still there. They're still watching. They're still, you know, caring about you. They're still wanting to know what's up and how you're doing and stuff. And so, you know, I think at the very beginning doing these interviews and even the podcasts, in some sense, I kind of felt like, does anybody even care that I'm here anymore? You know, like, because this is all I'm doing right now, type of thing. But you know, but then seeing it still happen, you know, everybody, I mean, I still go read in on the comments and stuff. I may not watch our episodes because I'm like, I don't need to watch myself or something, but I'll sit and read the comments and I'm like, no, people still do care. Like, just because you had to take a little time to be yourself, you know, take care of stuff and whatever, you know, again, people still care. But I think the other thing too, kind of coincides with that is, and I think honestly, this could go for all of us, is like, we all have way more credibility than I think we really give ourselves. And that's like, you know, I mean, you see the people that we have talked to and even the people we haven't announced yet. And it's like, we were able to do this. And who are we? We're just some random people loving this franchise that reached out. And it's like, you know, I mean, you don't have to be this huge name to do this amazing stuff. And I'm not even just talking about the interviews themselves. I'm saying whatever else you want to do. It's like, so that's really taught me of like, because I think I've had people too, again, going, how all this has played out for me is like, again, I'll do these interviews and then I'm right back to dealing with my life as soon as we hang up. And I've had people be like, oh my gosh, you did this. And to me, it's kind of been like, I've been kind of like, yeah, you know, like I did. I'm dealing with this right now. But now that I'm starting to come out of that, I'm realizing, yeah, I did that. You know, we did that. And that's made me realize it's like, I'm just some random person, yet people are like so thrilled by it, like so excited for it and stuff. And so it's like, it doesn't matter if your life is hard right now, or if you feel like you don't deserve it, or that you don't have the credibility for it. It's like, you know what? Nothing was stopping us and we went for it and here we are. And so that's where it's like, give yourself that credit, especially JB, because he's the one getting these. You know, he needs most of the credibility, but we've all kind of pitched in here and all get this credit that I think we all deserve. And so that's something I've learned throughout all this.